99.3 KNSI, time for Voigt Johnson's Taking You Home. You can hear this program every Thursday morning at 7:23, Saturday afternoons at 12:53, and always remember, start that home search at VoigtJohnson.com. Brandon, good morning, sir.
Good morning, Bob.
Brandon Johnson in studio with us, and as always, we always like to hear what our listeners are thinking, right?
Yeah, good to be here.
I have one here. My husband and I have been house hunting on and off for about 2 years. Our current home needs updating, and we ideally could use more space. We would like to make some renovations, but don't want to spend a lot of money in case the perfect house comes available. What advice can you give in regards to spending money wisely on our current home that we can recoup any dollars we put into our current home? Whew, that's a loaded question.
It is, and that's a very involved question, which really spurs a lot of more follow-up questions that I would have. But a lot of, to simplify, questions that we get are, what are the best ways to invest money to resell the home?
Your home, right.
And there's some pretty basic, generalized, standard answers: flooring, paint, the typical things.
Yeah, those
kitchen,
are the simple ones, right?
To get in depth to this question, it would really be in. I've met with people that are in the same situation that they want to move. They've outgrown the home, it sounds like, a little bit. But it really comes down to what are your priorities as far as what are you looking to do. And to get into more detail on that, I would say there's certain dollars that you invest that are specifically for selling your home, reinvestment.
Right.
Now, there's other dollars that are for your own use and enjoyment that may not recapture on a resale, but you have to be able to mentally, and I'll probably get into this, I used to have a coach back in high school that would say, don't be half pregnant.
Right.
And that might not sit well today, but the point would be you need to, indecisiveness can be a killer, and this applies here. You need to pick, what do I want to spend to make the house practical and functional for myself.
Sure.
That may not be 100% recoup on the resale value, or what do I want to just get it ready and get it for sale. And there's really no necessarily in between, and the in between area you have to feel comfortable with that you may not get that money back.
So not a pat answer for everybody, but what you can look at is, okay, you're going to be living there. Let's say the house doesn't sell for a half a year or whatever, right? You're going to be living there. Why not enjoy those improvements yourself, right?
Yep, and to get into some other examples, because this is a question I get a lot in the last 12 to 18 months, is solar panels.
Oh, sure.
How much do they improve the value of my house? And I would say, from my experience, not a lot, if any.
Okay.
Are there buyers that are looking for homes with solar panels? Not currently there may be some, but they're few and far between.
Sure.
And so if you're going to make that investment, that is a long-term investment that you may recapture through your energy bills, right?
Yeah.
I would say it does not increase the home or your value, the $20,000, $30,000 you're putting into it.
Right.
People don't attribute that as additional value when they're going in. Is it a plus to some, but is the typical buyer willing to pay more?
Sure.
No. So that's something too, and that you may believe in going green and doing all that. That's for your own satisfaction, own benefits as well, to a certain degree.
I kind of think a forever home where that payback will be there. Do you know what I mean?
100%.
Yeah.
Swimming pools are another one. If you have young family, it's for your own use and enjoyment. Now, is there a market for pools in the summer? Absolutely. But is it necessarily a dollar for dollar recapture? So what I would say to this question or these people is that involves, us as an agent going through the home, giving you options on, hey, this is something, and we would prioritize. These are the things I would highly recommend doing for reinvestment, resale, that will give you bang for your buck. Now you take those from when we say this is a priority for resale and say, okay, how does this fit into our functionality and our needs, and go from there.
You know how when somebody puts their house on the market or wants to put their house on the market, you always do the comps, right?
Yep.
It might not be a bad idea to do those comps, and then you can say, oh, all these houses around you have new garage doors. All the houses around you have new countertops, new this, new that. That is where I would put my money.
Absolutely, and you just hit on something too very specific. to make recommendations on how to spend money involves your particular neighborhood,
Right.
involves your particular price point, and involves, what the other competing homes are going to offer. All of those factors, and so everything is an individual case.
Right.
And so it's hard to give general answers for that, but what we would do is we would prioritize, these are the most cost-effective things to do, and then you can, because it all comes down to dollars and cents.
Right.
So if you're going to say it takes $30,000-$40,000 to make these renovations, and it may only improve your value of your home $10,000 to $15,000. Now it might be better to look at that bigger home now, even though interest rates might be a little higher.
Sure.
There's a lot. Once we can quantify it with a dollar perspective, it helps making that decision process.
So we talked about paint, right? That
Yep.
is super easy, super affordable. Carpet, it's getting a little spendy perhaps. New flooring, that kind of stuff. Appliances, probably not.
It really depends. The easy ones, the simple factors, and again, it all depends on competing homes, what price point you're in.
Okay.
Flooring, light fixtures are
sure.
another one. Simple ones. Appliances can be, but it's one of those where you got to look at what the immediate neighborhood, the competing homes in that
Yep.
price point are,
Yep.
and I always say you want to be a little bit nicer at the same price as your competing homes, because buyers are going to walk into 3 or 4 homes,
Yeah.
and if you have just some slight simple things that the other homes don't,
Right.
at the same price, that's how you set yourself apart.
Perfect answers to the question. Now, how do we work with you, Brandon Johnson, at VoigtJohnson Real Estate?
Yeah, you can visit VoigtJohnson.com online or 320-774-2400.
Brandon, thank you.
Thank you.